Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is, I believe it's Tuesday, right? I can't even remember what day it is. Tuesday, January 24th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And really good trading day. It was a nice uptrend. There weren't a lot of opportunities to enter this thing, um, but if you got in down here somewhere and was able to catch a runner, I mean, this thing could have been really nice. And there were some late afternoons. I actually traded some late this evening, took a couple of trades up here just simply because I didn't find much else early on. So, um, yeah, but you can see what we had was we started off, it looked like we had a trend going here, which we did. I think it's a shorter term one. But this turns out to be the trend, and then it just steepened here. Not sure what came out around this time that probably some news or something, some rumor, something got started, and this thing just takes off. Maybe some of the stuff Trump's doing, I don't know. Doesn't matter. All we know is that it took off here, and we just had a steeper channel. It's a real clear two-tiered channel. There just weren't a lot of chances to enter it, to be honest with you. So, um, anyway, let's back out and talk about the trades. It won't take long today, and no soapbox today, so um, this won't take long probably. You had a chance to enter here. I marked this one green. Um, this really is your signal bar. It's really when it breaks above the next bar, so it's here. But really, your stop needs to go down here. You probably were okay to put it here. Okay, I didn't even get 2 minutes in. I'm already getting interrupted today. But this was the first trade I saw as a possibility. It happened right about 7 o'clock when I came in. Notice you got a low here, first entry, second entry, and it turns up here. This is really looking rangy, but you got to draw this trend line, and this is bouncing right off that trend line. Uh, Really, this one here is your signal bar. So once we broke higher there, you might have dropped a limit order in here where your stop would have gone on this one, or you could have done it here. But I tell you, I was a little bit leery of it by the time this one didn't break higher. It's still a very bullish bar, but when it didn't break higher, I was a little bit leery of it, so I made this one green. And of course, your stop goes below. Like I said, really when it broke above, here's when it triggered. So we'll move that over a little bit. And that was just after the 7 o'clock hour. Turns out to be a nice quick trade. Then it pulls back, and you get a little break and a move to a new high, and then you get a correction. Notice you get one leg down, then a little couple of sideways, and another leg down. So that's two measured legs. I didn't measure them, but just eyeballing them. They look really close. And you can see that is a perfect measured leg. So it's two legs back to the trend line, and you're actually going sideways here, so you could treat this like a failed break lower. So you could really enter here. Um, I was just a little leery of it because it looks like we got a little channel working sideways down here as well, and we don't have a break of it yet. So I was a little bit leery, but when you get this little trap here and it confirms that trend line again, just go long right there. And now it looks like we're headed to the other side. The only reason I didn't like this one, really, you could argue, I mean, that one probably should be green. You could almost argue for it to be blue because you got a new low there, and then you got a first entry, second entry, but you got a break of this little short-term one, and you got a lot of resistance right across there. So you're going long into that resistance. Really, this is the one you have to worry about the most. That's the next one that because we just passed through these other two. And if you see the channel, this two-tiered channel, you figure prices are probably headed there. But as you can see, they didn't go there. They came back again, and that happens sometimes. So you can't always, even though that's the most likely uh, price objective is the upper side of the trend channel, that doesn't always happen. So this thing is looking really neutral by this time. So that's the reason I leave this one green. And then we tried to go lower a couple more times. We didn't quite get back to the trend line here. This is a second entry long. It's not a very bullish bar. It's really kind of a neutral bar. It closed right in the middle. So, and then this one's kind of neutral as well. So I didn't like entering there. But notice what happens. You got a new low, and then you get a first entry short, second entry short. This time you probably figure we're going on to the other side. So I like going long. It's a nice bullish bar. I like going along there. It's a quick, easy move. We pull back, and really, this one's off the EMA. It's off of this shorter term trend line. The reason this is green is because we just came off the high side. There's not a lot of room in there, so that one's a little questionable. And you see it, especially if you did get in there when it just kept going sideways until it went higher. I probably would have just taken what I could get out of that one and scalped out. And then, of course, you don't want to go long in here because you're just going sideways. You got a doji in there, a couple of them, and it's into the upper side. You don't this one, you don't know for sure you're going to get out of that one yet. This thing just takes off and it just keeps going. And really, the first chance, at first it looked like it was a real tight channel. Then, of course, we get the measured move here and it comes back and bounces. You might have considered entering there. I mean, it's obvious by now that this trend is strengthened and steepened. And once that happens, you don't get a lot of chances to enter. So you got to take kind of what it'll give you. So you might have taken that one. And then you get a little overshoot here. And so it starts working back to the other side. And notice what happens. You bounce right off the trend line, the key entry point here. And notice that's a new low. And you try to go lower once and it fails. And then you get that little bar. There's not a lot of room at the top, but you're probably not going to get it on a strong trend day. And at this point, this thing is still strong and off it goes. And I liked entering here. Notice you got a new low, you get a first entry, you pull back, you get a second entry. And that's a nice bullish bar. It's a little breakout pullback long. It broke one tick higher than that one, pulls back. So that's a nice, probably a nice short trap. And I know there's people out there trying to pick tops, and I'm going to take advantage of them. And I mean, one of my guys sends me an email today, and you know, he's looking at questioning trend lines and looking for where to get short. And I'm like, you got to be looking for a long here. There's no reason to be thinking short. And that's what, you know, that's how you make your money, off people that don't know what they're doing and making mistakes. And so that's a great place. And then it just comes back and gives you another little double test of that line. It bounces right off. And I like entering again. Even though it's right after 2 o'clock, I'm going to enter that again because we're probably going to go higher. I would actually I would measure this leg right here, and that would be my first target, to look for a leg like that right there. And look at that, a perfect measured move to the tick, and it turns down. So, yeah, not a lot of chances to enter this thing following the rules. Now, a lot of times when I see a trend like this, when it just keeps going higher and higher and higher, if I get anything kind of pullback or correction, I'm probably going to, with a nice little signal bar like right here, maybe even this one. Look at that little signal bar. The only problem with that one is this looks like a channel at that point right here, just these two lines. You're not 100% sure that's a midline, but we did overshoot it here and a little bit here. So there's maybe a good chance, but you know, you either got to take a chance or you're going to miss it and just watch it. And you just had to sit tight till real late in the day, right before 2 o'clock. So, nice day. Again, not a lot of entries. Really straightforward. This is when you start seeing a trend like this, that's as easy as it gets. Don't be looking for any tops. Not until you get a break, a very convincing break. And notice that didn't happen until late in the day. And it never tried to go up. There's no really... Yeah, you might have noticed how there's a first attempt, second attempt. You might have gone short there. And you might have even, since this shot through the EMA and pulled back and tested it, I probably would have, if this wasn't after 2 o'clock, I'd probably go short right there. So, yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush today. We're going to wrap it up and be done early, and no soapbox today. So, anyway, we'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm out of here for today. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.